My name is Despina Savidou. I am the co-owner of the Athens Walking Tours, Athens, Greece. It was back in 2004 when myself and my husband Yannis, we started the Athens Walking Tours. Since then, which means for about 16 years, we run daily many different tours, historical and culinary ones. In the historical tours, we show our clients, our guests, the Acropolis Museum, the Plaka, the Monastiraki, and all those wonderful attractions in our wonderful historical city, Athens. But it is the culinary tours that people really love. Everybody loves food, who doesn't actually? And we run daily food tours, cooking classes, and wine tasting, by which people can try the wonderful Greek wines. Today, I would like to make with you Spanakopita spinach pie. It is so easy to make it. You know that it is delicious. You know that it is something like the Greek fast food. Everywhere you go you can buy a piece of spanakopita. But it's not the only pie that we Greeks make and love. We make a huge number of pies, such as cheese pie, leek pie, mushroom pie, zucchini pie, but the most popular one, the most delicious one, is the one we are going to make right now with you. I would like to share to you all ingredients we need to make the spinach pie. On my right, I have all ingredients we need to make the phyllo. Flour, vinegar, water, olive oil, salt and sugar. So that's all we need to make the phyllo. On my left, we have all we need to make the filling. To begin with, fresh, wonderful spinach. Then I have here 3 ingredients: the leek, the dill, and the spring onions. An onion, a dry red onion, 2 eggs, breadcrumbs, milk, and of course we can do nothing, you can cook nothing without olive oil. We are going to make now the phyllo. You can buy it in any supermarket. You can go and buy ready-made phyllo, but it's not the same. When you make your own phyllo, then pita is, believe me, 10 times more delicious. So to make the phyllo, we take a bowl. We put half a glass of water. We put half a glass of olive oil. Don't worry about the olive oil, 120 million olive trees. We have a lot of olive oil, we consume a lot of olive oil also. So I put the olive oil here. Then I put I take a teaspoon and I put 1 teaspoon of salt, the same amount of sugar. And now the vinegar. Before I put the vinegar, I would like to tell you that we put vinegar for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is to make the phyllo crunchy when you eat it. The second reason is when we open the phyllo with this rolling pin that I did not show to you, then the phyllo doesn't break. So I take and I put 2 tablespoons of vinegar I mix it. I put it here. I mix it. And I add now, little by little, the flour. Here in this bowl, I have already added 2 cups of flour. That's all we need. And I start kneading it. It's not difficult at all. It's very easy. In 1-2 minutes, it's going to be ready. Okay, until it becomes a soft dough. I think it's ready. Now I put my left hand also, because this is it. It is ready. I make first the dough, because the dough needs to rest. So I take a little bit more flour. I just sprinkle it like this with flour, and I leave it aside to rest. While our dough is resting, it needs to rest 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, depending on the time we have. We are going to prepare now the filling. And first of all, we are going to prepare the spinach. I have here fresh spinach, which I bought, I cleaned, I washed, and I have it ready for you. You can also buy frozen spinach, and if you buy frozen spinach, you have to leave it before you use it outside the deep freezer for about half an hour. That's all. If you buy fresh spinach, which is much better, and your spinach is relatively big, like mine, you see how big it is, and then you cut the stems like this. Please don't use the stems, okay? I will cut them very, very quickly for you. I throw them away, and then the leaves are very big. I cut them into 2, just like that. Now, if you have fresh spinach, there is something very important you have to do. You add salt, probably 1 or 2 teaspoons of salt, and then you start squeezing the spinach until its water comes out. I'll show you. I hope you can see. Well, let me take the feta. This is my feta, which you're going to add to the filling. You know the feta cheese, which is delicious, and you can make a pita only with feta. I squeeze my spinach. I squeeze it so much that water comes out, has to come out. Okay. So this is a big one, I forgot to cut it, so I have to cut it. Small pieces, no stems, this is important. And now if you take 1 handful, I squeeze it, look at me, you see how much liquid comes out? I squeeze it very, very well, and I put it in another bowl. And I do it handful by handful, look how much comes out. Okay, now we are ready. I need this big bowl, and I put my spinach again. If you want, you can squeeze it twice, you can squeeze it 3 times. The more you squeeze it, the better it will be. So, I put it all here in my big bowl. Let me wipe my hands here with kitchen paper. So I have no spinach anymore. Let me clean my table here. So, there you are. Now I have my spinach ready, there you are, in a big bowl, because in this bowl I'm going to add all ingredients. And we can start with the second main ingredient of this spinach pie, which is feta cheese. I pressed it with my hand and I made it like this, so I add my feta. There you are, I do nothing else. Then I'm going to add the dill. I have here a whole bunch of dill. I'm not going to use all of it, just 1/4 of it, let's say this amount of dill. I can take a little bit more actually. Okay, now the stems. Please don't hesitate to use them, but not all of them. I'm gonna cut a little bit of the stems, and the rest I'm going to chop it up very quickly for you, and I add it in the filling. This is very easy to do. These two, I don't need them, the stems. I add my dill, okay? I take a piece of leek makes it delicious. I take a small piece and a little bit from the green, no more. I will leave it here again. And look what I do. I just cross it like this. So I cut it into small pieces. I put it here so you can see. Again, I cross it again because I want small pieces. Onion and leek have to be cut into very small pieces. Okay, I'm ready. And I will cut also the green ones into small pieces. Let me do it here, it's better. I add my leek. And now I will use onions. Actually, you can use only spring onions if you have them. You can use only a dry onion. The combination of the two gives a special taste to the Spanakopita. So I will use half a dry onion, half of it, because it is better to use spring onions. Spring onions have I think I like them better. They have a nice smell, they have a nice taste. I will cut into small pieces the dry onion. Exactly as I did with the leek. You saw how I did it. I add half of the dry onion here. And although the recipe says 1 spring onion, because I put half of the dry one, I'm going to use 2 spring onions. So, into small pieces. Small pieces. I put a little bit from the green. Now my eyes start crying, you know how it is with onions, don't you? Okay, I have my onions ready, so I add it, I have in the big bowl, as I said, I have my spinach, then I added my feta cheese into small pieces. You can also grate the feta. If you have the feta cheese in a piece, you can grate it, or you can just use your hands and make small pieces of feta. Then I put the dill, I put the leek, I put half a dry onion, and I put 2 spring onions. Now, what else do I need? I need 2 eggs. I add 2 eggs. Let me wipe my hands again. I need breadcrumbs. If you have squeezed your spinach once, then you put a little bit more of that because it absorbs the liquid and the pie becomes dry and nice. If you have squeezed it 2 and 3 times, you put less. The recipe says 2 tablespoons. If you put 4, it's even better. So I have here a teaspoon. I will put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know why? Because I like it dry. That's why I put a little bit more. Now I add milk, which is also very important. 2 tablespoons of milk. I put pepper. Okay. If you ask me how much pepper you should put, it depends on the taste you want. If you want it very spicy, you put a flat teaspoon of pepper. If you want it not that spicy, you put a little bit less. It's like with salt and pepper, you can never give the right portion when you make a recipe. And what is missing now? I think we put everything except olive oil, which is the most important. Now, the recipe may say half a cup of olive oil or one cup of olive oil. Let me see here, where do I have it? I have the same here. I will put half a cup of olive oil. Now I will stir it. And we are ready. But you know what? I am too Greek, and I think my olive oil is not enough. I want a little bit more olive oil. You know, many years ago, when my mother and my grandmother used to make a Spanakopita, they used to say, when you take the piece of the pita in your hands, it has to drip oil. I don't like that, but I will add a little bit more. Allow me to do that. By the way, now that I mentioned my mother and my grandmother, I want to tell you that this recipe comes from my grandmother, who passed away with 104. There was no coronavirus then. About 6 or 7 years ago, and it is her recipe. She taught me step by step how to make this pie in her memory. So I have the filling ready, and my dough has rested, I think enough, 10-15 minutes now. And now we are ready to make the dough. I actually meant the phyllo because I have the dough. Now here we have the dough. I will have to cut it into 4 equal in size pieces because I need 4 phyllo. I will put 2 in the bottom of the pan and 2 on top, and in the middle I'm going to add the filling. So I have here my dough and I will cut it into 4 pieces. So this is 1 piece. And I think they are ready. Okay, now, so this is the pan I'm going to use. Here you can have 6 to 8 portions, and I will put olive oil. Look at this. I take a pencil and I spread it all over. And I have it ready aside next to my filling. And now I take one piece of my dough, and this is my flour. That's what I need for the moment. Not this one, this is the olive oil, I don't need it for the moment. So I put a little flour on the table. I put this piece of dough. I put it the other way. I put flour, I cover it actually with flour. And now I take my rolling pin and I will make the phyllo. Look how I do it. I don't put my fingers or hands here at the end. I put them close to the dough, but not very close, not on top of it, just close enough, and I roll it like that. If you don't put flour on the table, then it's going to stick. I take it the other way. I use my flour again, and I do the same. Okay, what do I have here? This is cut. It doesn't matter, I just leave it like that. Well, cooking is my passion. I'm not a chef. I am a tour guide myself for 40 years. I have two passions. One is giving guided tours, talking about the history, the Acropolis, the Knossos, Santorini, the eruption of the volcano and all that. But my next passion is cooking. So, let us continue and make the phyllo. You see, it has become quite big. You see that? Let's try and get the size of our pan. Okay. I think we are done. Do you see what I do here? Let me show you again. Let me show you. I want to show you. You see how big it became? Okay. I put flour again, and when I try to open it, I take one piece here, I put it on the rolling pin. You see that? And then I put flour in my hands, and I touch the dough with this part of my hand here, and I do it like this. And I continue. And I continue. And I continue until I am ready. I think we are okay. Let's take and see what we did. Fantastic, even bigger than we need it actually. I take it. The best way is to do it this. You just roll it, you put it here. Okay, you see? You don't have to do it flat because this way it's gonna be very delicious. I have the other three phyllo ready for you, and we continue now with the pita. We put the second phyllo on the pan. Okay? And I'm going to use now my filling, and I put the filling. I have two phyllo, and I will take the filling and I put it here. So tasteful and so good. you have protein from the feta cheese, you have the onions, you have the olive oil. I spread it all over. Wonderful, wonderful. And now let me take, I don't want to miss that. And I will put now the other two phyllos. The best way to hold the phyllo is on the rolling pin. Oops, perfect. The size is perfect. I want to hide the spinach. Hey, do. Okay. I take the other one. And I put it on top. And now, if you want to make it also look nice, you use your fingers and on the ends you do this. I take a knife, where is my knife, and I cut it into pieces. One big piece, the second one, the third, and I have the fourth. You see that? Okay, now. And I cut it again. Let me make big pieces. So it's going to be what we did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pieces, I think. And I cut it into half. Okay. And as I told you before, I don't use olive oil between the phyllo, but on all those cuttings, I put a very little olive oil. Let me do it. Very little. And a little bit on the phyllo, very little. Now, so that the top of the spinach pie is crunchy and looks nice, I'm going to sprinkle my pitcher with milk. Some women sprinkle it with water. Some others mix milk with the yolk of an egg. Whatever is easier and more convenient for you. Because I have milk, I use milk, and I usually use milk. So, just sprinkle it. And my pita is ready. I have preheated the oven 200 Celsius, but I'm going to cook my pita in 180 Celsius. You have to calculate in Fahrenheit. And for about 45 to 60 minutes. So you have to check it, and when you see the top of the pita becoming dark brown, then the pita is ready. Oh my goodness, it's ready and it looks so nice. It has a nice brown color on top. I hope you can all make it. If you need some help, if you need any tip from me, I will be so happy to help you. My name is Despina. I am pretty sure you're gonna all have a big success in making your spinach pie now that you have so much time, now that you stay at home, and you should actually stay at home. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, stay at home, be safe. Bye-bye. All my love from Athens, all my love from Greece. And when time comes, we will be here to show you more recipes. Bye-bye.